Heyo, and welcome back to the Boston Sports Brothers podcast. We got the bros right now. Gentlemen, how are ya?
How we
Happy Monday
doing?
nights.
What's
Happy
up,
Monday
boys?
We're
nights,
doing okay on a
boys.
on a Victory
Victory
Monday for
Monday.
the ninth consecutive week. What is going on? What
Nine
world do we live in?
nine consecutive weeks of Patriots wins. We're gonna
We're
get right into
back.
that. But
Doesn't
first,
feel like a victory.
it
Yeah.
doesn't. But let
No.
me
Well, there's
let
some
me say this first before we get into the Pats. I gotta let the audience know we had on the awesome Ron Poster, who's the organist for the Boston Bruins at TD Garden, as well as BC Men's Hockey, and has several shows out and about all over Boston each and every week. If you've been to Capo in the basement, Sinatra Sundays, he's got good stuff going on there. We have an awesome interview with Ron. We're gonna put that at the end of the episode. So we got a full episode here around town. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, the Pike. Everything that you expect to see. See if anybody's in the penalty box, and then right at the end of this will be our interview with Ron. So a little bonus content here for Thanksgiving week, gentlemen. Let's get into the Patriots win yesterday, a slugfest down in Cincinnati. J Matt set the table, and I want to get everyone's sort of state of the season and how we're feeling after yesterday. So J Matt, take it away, and then we'll go around the horn.
Yeah, Plotty, you said it best. I mean, it was an absolute slugfest. Just their longest game of the season. It felt like it was stop and go the whole game with injuries, penalties, you name it. There was no rhythm in the game. Right off the gate, I mean, Drake May, his throws were something was going on with his throwing. I don't know the sun was potentially in his eyes. I don't know. That's what I heard, but
Sungate.
he had yeah yeah Sungate yeah exactly. But he was really choppy to start out, and then of course the Patriots defense have to let up some type of points coming out on their first drive. They let up a field goal, not a touchdown, so I guess that's somewhat of an improvement. But yeah, it was the first quarter, 3-0, not great start for the Pats, but they fought back. They came back in the second, and they had a great outing. The one thing I will say is that there was some questionable coaching calls in the second quarter. They not in the second quarter, sorry, in the third quarter. I'll get to that, but in the third quarter, Vrabel, they went for it when they shouldn't have, I thought, went on downs, and they turned the ball over when I think they should have kicked that field goal. And I think that's becoming a real issue in the league in general with coaching is these coaches are just getting way too aggressive and not taking the points. I remember like 20 years ago when we were first watching football, it was like you take every single opportunity you can to get the points because like the points are at a premium in the league. I don't know if they are this much, so much this year, but in the last 10, 20 years, but I don't know, man. It was such a slugfest. The game was just not great. Penalties. They did come away with I think the biggest bright spot was obviously not seeing the guys go down, but after the fact, Will Campbell and the rookie left guard
Wilson.
Jared Wilson.
Wilson, they sustained some injuries, but they're not season-ending injuries. So hopefully some sprains and not ACL tears, which if the Patriots really want to get to that Super Bowl level, they need those guys to stay healthy and come back in the long run. So I want everyone's take, but it was just an absolute haul of a game. Especially against a terrible defense. So not a great showing. A win is a win. It was on the road, so take it for what it's worth, you know?
Who wants
Jump
to take
in,
it away?
boys.
I was gonna say for someone who didn't watch the game, I mean, I can definitely at least chime in as to where the Patriots are right now, um, compared to where we thought they would be, when we were, starting when we however many episodes back, and I don't think we would have thought that we would have been at the top of the league.
That's for sure.
We're the number one in
No
the
way.
NFL right now. I just we're back on top again. Is it like fool's gold? The Cam Newton shit, all that other stuff. It's all it's all chatter because you play who's in front of you. At the end of the day, so regardless of what the outcome is, a win is a win. As ugly as it is, it's ugly. Again, this is a team with a quarterback going into his sophomore year, I believe. So it's like typically you see a little bit of regression, and then you see that them start to build up, and this kid's kind of only accelerated his game. So yeah, it was ugly. Yeah, it was gross. Yeah, a couple guys went down. That's the NFL. That's everybody goes, not everybody, but pretty much everyone for the most part is going down at some point. Everybody's banged up, everybody's bruised up. Um, but thankfully that it wasn't season-ending injuries. Um, they'll be back, like you guys alluded to, towards the end of the season. Maybe it's a good thing in that regards. We're this far ahead anyways in the standings, so maybe it's a good thing. Again, I wasn't able to watch the game. I was, had some family things that I needed to attend to. I saw the group chat that you guys were talking about and saw a bunch of the highlights. So I was able to at least watch it from that end. But as far as like an outside box of someone who didn't actually watch the game and just kind of looking at the Patriots season as a whole right now, I would give it an A plus. I mean,
Incredible success. Incredible
yeah,
success.
completely exceeded expectations. But yeah, guys, chime in on your thoughts on the
Yeah.
game and
Yeah.
your X's and O's.
Sam, you're completely right in saying that. We were hoping for, the line was like 8 games, so they're
Mhm.
already crossed that in 14 or 12 games. So, that's pretty impressive. I don't think any of us saw that coming. Um, I would say State of the Union, things are looking good, 10-2. State of the game, not so fun. It was kind of a tough watch. But one thing we did not talk about is the red zone offense and how terrible it looked
Putrid.
in this game.
Mhm.
Terrible.
Um,
Four field goals.
Everybody knows at this point, there was a series where they failed to get it in 4 downs, and Booty got the penalty call, the holding call on him, which was great. I personally thought they should have gone back to that move with Booty. I love that little like arrow route or whatever you want to
It's the
call
it's
it.
the
He's
Edelman
he's
route that
he's still
that
not right. I don't know if he should have played, honestly.
it's that
Yeah,
Like I
Edelman
but
don't know
route
why
they
he was
that's
won in
out there.
Seattle.
I
You
know,
know?
but I think without the holding, he could have got released on the end, and Drake May would have found him for sure. But yeah, just a lot of interesting decisions. They had another crack at the end zone right after that penalty call, fresh set of downs, and they still couldn't knock it in. I really thought at that point like Vrabel should have went for the points, and that alludes to kind of like what Josh was saying in his State of the Union over there. I don't know. I think you would have won by 9 points. It would have been
Yep.
a way more of a comfortable win than the 6 point and having the defense kind of hold that game for us. I think that was one of the first games where our defense had to go out and win a game for the Patriots. So it was, you can't expect every game to look pretty, but man, Cincinnati seems a little cursed. I don't know what you
Ugh.
guys
I'll
think
never. I
about
don't want to
that, but
ever want to go there.
all the injuries and just the weird plays that were happening in that game, I don't know. I don't want to go to
Well,
Cincinnati.
well,
I'm
well, I'm
scared of that
happy that
place.
we're no longer on to Cincinnati and we're moving forwards. But I have a couple of things here, and Plotty, feel free to stop me. I got a lot of things on my list, so if you feel like I'm going too far in, just
All
give me a
right,
one
ramble
two.
on Rose. Here he
Yep,
goes.
you tell me. All right,
Didn't
I'm
you
gonna be quick with them too.
say?
First one, Ramondre's first game back, invisible. Like
Poopy.
didn't even notice he was there. When he was there, didn't really seem like he was that involved in the game.
He did
Go
not
back and trade.
fumble.
You did well, great. Okay, good. He didn't fumble. Give the ball to Trayvon Henderson and put Ramondre on the bench. He sucks. All right, I'm going to keep going with that. Tight ends continuing to carve up our defense. Mike Gesicki, Noah Fant. They seemed like they were open almost every single time they were targeted by Joe Flacco. So tight ends continue to be an issue for this defense. Huge, huge issue. Um, Not only was Booty not being looked enough, and maybe he is still recovering from the injury, but Stephon Diggs, who's been really automatic since I think like week four, one of his worst games of the season, did not even seem like Drake was looking his way often at all. So that was also somewhat concerning a little bit that didn't see
But was
him.
that defensive scheming or was that because of a connection? Because I mean, he still Jake still had his guy in Hunter Henry. Like that's what we talked about last
That
That
was
was
his
my next.
episode.
son.
That was my next point there, Sam. Is
Yeah.
that it was nice to see Hunter Henry involved, but I don't know if it was scheming or if it was more of the fact that Drake. Drake was definitely a little bit off in the game yesterday, and I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna put a lot more of that on Drake than I am on the receivers. But the fact that Diggs didn't get as many targets as he probably should have, that to me is a little concerning. So that's something that I was a little concerned with. It was really nice to see Hunter more involved in the game. He had been kind of taking a little bit of a back seat over the last couple of weeks as Drake has been kind of feeding the rock to some other folks. So that was nice to see him involved, and he certainly had a nice game. I think he was something that was great. Something that we glossed on over is the Patriots right now, if with the season were to end today, are the number one seed in the
Yes,
AFC.
sir.
That is absolutely amazing. We talked
Are we
about
getting
what
close?
where we were for the win loss record at the beginning of the year. The fact that we are the number one seed after 12 weeks is absolutely crazy. And, really big yesterday seeing the Colts go down. Obviously, the Broncos had a bye, so they stayed at 9-2. But now we have a little bit of breathing room and, not really a lot of room for error because those teams are going to be breathing down our neck. And then my last point, we talked a little bit about the injuries on the left side of the line with Will Campbell and Jared Wilson. I think another injury that we didn't talk about and hasn't been talked about enough is Tonga getting injured, and that's a massive injury for both sides of the ball. And it's big for the offense because Big Boy's been leading the way, going into the end zone. I think especially when we talk about the red zone offense, the issues they had, that happened after he got injured. If we had had him, I think we probably would have had a little bit of an easier time scoring a touchdown. And then I think the other reason why this is a huge injury is Milton Williams being put on IR is making Tonga more of an impact player on the defense. So Tonga going down is having a massive impact on both sides of the ball, and that's something that concerns me.
Yeah, I mean, Biggie, great points all around. In fairness, Kraz did have the Patriots at number one when he was talking, but it is unbelievable that they are in this position. Yet we are talking as if they just lost a game that they won. The significant issues. Don't get me wrong. In the microcosm of the game, I think the pros are that Vrabel and the coaching staff know that they have to improve. They got to get those situations right when it comes to the points and what you do. The calls at the goal line, I agree. I don't need to see Ramondre Stevenson really taking the ball all that much, especially as he gets back up and running. Um, Lucky on the injuries. Gotta shout out Carlton Davis. He made some big plays on that final drive, deflections, and sometimes you're just going to get into a rock fight in the NFL and in a
Mhm.
slugfest in a sloppy, ugly game. That's what it was yesterday. And to come out on top is really all you can ask for. I think. You got a winnable game against the Giants coming up next week, and then you get the bye week. So go win, get healthy, and then you have the two biggest tests of the season with Baltimore and Buffalo coming up. So don't overlook the G-men and rest up. And it's time to keep this one seed. I think the bye week for them in the playoffs would do them
Oh,
wonders as well from a health
huge.
standpoint and give them some time. Uh, and it
Yeah,
was it was a good week of football. Great games all around the league. Chiefs stay alive. Knocked the Colts down. It was hard to know who to root for in that game. I think there were three or four overtime games yesterday, so it was a great day of ball
Mhm.
and games that came down to the final whistle.
What
So
one thing about this season though that is like just I want to put in perspective. This is our 63rd episode. If you go back to episode, let's say what, 15 or 20 last year, probably like the meat of the season, we were so down on this team, on this Patriots,
Dejected.
like we couldn't find anything to be happy about. The fact that we are feeling so dejected after a win is a blessing that we are feeling this way, guys. Like,
no
let's
doubt.
take it in. It's unbelievable the turnaround that they've had in 1 year. Mike Vrabel is going to win Coach of the Year. He absolutely should, in my eyes. He just
I
completely
agree.
turned this whole organization around. He's the sole heart reason besides Drake May, and he's putting Drake May in the best position, I think, to be the best guy that he can be. So I think it has to start with Vrabel. We're it's just a 180 from last year, and I can't be more happy of where we're at.
I
Vrabel's
gotta
certainly the
agree.
favorite. He's certainly the favorite for Coach of the Year, but I'm not going to discount Ben Johnson at this point too, because what's happening in Chicago, I think, is also a massive turnaround. And let's see where everything finishes at the end of the year. If that team potentially wins that division, which is candidly a much tougher division than ours, he's got to be in the conversation. I want Vrabel to win, but I'm also trying to be a realist and look around the league to see what other teams are doing too.
definite possibility if the Jags can keep it rolling. Liam Cohen might get himself into that conversation.
Didn't even
Duval.
mention the
I
Aurora
yeah.
Borealis.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Borealis has been
Yeah.
has
Had a
been
great
really
game.
solid
Crushed it.
for us all season, and
Oh, it's weird.
and
They should
it's
probably use it
it's
more.
it's nice to have a kicker that makes his kicks and that you feel good about sort of trotting out there, knocking on wood as I say that. And Pats go on
You
to
got it, man.
Monday Night Football. In the Pike, we'll talk about what is one of the greatest weeks of football each and every year, and we'll talk about that in the Pike. So let's keep the train on the tracks and keep it moving over to the
Take
where
the
the
commuter
Bruins
back
were.
in.
Gabe, where were the Bruins this last week?
The Bruins were out in California.
Shipped them out
Out
west.
west.
California's
Yeah.
recent.
Oh, they were shipped
California,
out
dropping
west.
on the golden
Shipped out west.
sky.
Let's talk about it. What did you see from the Bruins this week? Did you stay up late to catch the action?
No, I did not stay up late to catch the action.
Fall asleep for the
I
action.
love sleep, and that's more important to me than a 10 o'clock Bruins game that is going to be a slog fest probably. Um, if it were a playoff game, I'd be up, but that's
There.
another story. Yeah, so Bruins, they only got one win in the four games that were played in between us last seeing each other. They're still very much in the rankings of the Atlantic Division. They're right kind of like in the middle, a little higher than that. So that's a positive that they took a little bit of a beating this weekend and were still able to not come out too hurt in the standings. But the team is in survival mode right now for sure. They've sustained a lot of injuries similar to the Patriots, the team that we were just talking about, and McAvoy is out for an indefinite amount of time. They said I think he should return by the Olympics, but like I don't know what kind of answer that is really. Um, Middle Casey Middlestat's out, Victor Arvinsson's out, Jordan Harris is out. So they've sustained a lot of injuries to what we're considering top six guys in the offense, and it's really weighing heavy on Morgan Geekie and David Pastrnak. They really seem to be the only ones that are able to get it going on the offensive end. Morgan Geekie continues to have incredible years, tied for first in the league with 17 goals. So I mean, that's really impressive stuff, especially on the contract that extended him on.
No
So,
doubt.
that was a good thing to happen for this team. And also Elias Lindholm is activated off the IR. So, I mean, they're like, the roller coaster is no longer, unfortunately, it's not all fun and games at the moment. We're kind of plateauing at this stage, and I think they need to tough it out right now with the injuries and kind of stay in the middle of the pack, and anything's really possible come trade deadline and see what
It's
happens from there.
possible.
Well, there's the old adage, Gabe, about like just making sure that you are in the playoff hunt come like Thanksgiving time, and they certainly have succeeded in that. So I think, they have shown that they are at least a team that's going to be competitive down the stretch, hopefully fighting for a playoff spot. Two things I would love to get your thoughts on. First one is yes, Geeky and Pasta are doing great. What about Pavel Zacha? What are your thoughts on him so far this season?
Zaka's
Nasty.
he's been pretty solid.
Good.
He's gotten kind of screwed with Middlestat and Arvidsson being out because those were like his line mates that he was used to playing with. He's a solid two-way player. I think there's been a lot of trade rumors swirling around Zaka and kind of moving on from him. So I think he hasn't really maybe found his niche with the team this year because of some injuries, and he was playing well before people went down, but he kind of seems like the invisible man out there sometimes, and you're
Pavel?
just
Oh man, I don't know. I watched the game last night. He was very on. He when he's got the puck on his stick, man, he is very good. He's got 17 points, the third top point getter in the team right now behind Geeky and Pasta. I think he's having a really good year. I think he could be trade bait. I think depending on where these next like month or month and a half goes, I could this team it's a roller coaster. It really truly is. Like they could I don't know, like they could be out of it in the next like 3 weeks. I could totally see that happening too. I'm looking at the stats right now. A lot of these players are minus players right now, as a whole. So they have really gotten, I think, really lucky with how they've been playing the first, let's say, what quarter of the year. But I think this is going to be a huge stretch. I think with McAvoy going out, I think the defense has been a little bit shaky. The secondary scoring, like you said, Gabe, has been like non-existent. Like no one's scoring at all.
I didn't
So,
realize Zaka was having that good of a season.
oh, he's having a great year, guys. I don't know what's going on. So but behind them, looking at the points, it's really really bad. I mean. Behind Zaka, he's got 17. Then you have 14 with McAvoy, who's out right now. Then you
Yeah.
have a D-man, Lowry, who has 10. And then you just need way more from your centers and your lefts and your wingmen right now. It's just if that's not gonna win in this league when you don't have the secondary scoring. So I'm just trying to be a realist. Like I'm kind of seeing through a little bit of what the first quarter of this year has been. Um, the one bright thing I will say is Swayman has come down to earth, and Swayman has been really, really good. He's got a
Mhm.
279 save percentage, sorry, goals against and a 909 save percentage. So he's kind of keeping the team afloat right now, but they need to get that secondary scoring. We're also screwed.
That's what they need at a guy like Swayman is for him to be able to level set and keep them in that race. As Big E said, you're at Thanksgiving, you're firmly in the mix, which is good. Big E, I think you had one more question I think that you wanted to ask.
Yeah, and I think this is like not to bring the positive vibes down, but I think we got to go back to why we all are in the position that we're in with this team right now with Sweeney and with Cam. Johnny Beecher, that
Mm.
experiment failed. Someone who they drafted to be, a centerman of the future. I don't think anyone ever thought he was going to be a top six guy, but certainly a third or fourth line center can't even make it out of his second year with the team. An indictment on how this team is drafted. So I just wanted to roundtable real quick and just get your thoughts on moving on from him because clearly it is a failure. And I think the thing that's even more apparent about it is they're moving on with him with all these injuries. Like they could use the body, but like he's more of a negative than a positive at this point.
Yeah,
Starts from the top.
Johnny Veacher. I believe he a first round pick by
Yes.
Sweeney? Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, he he never really fully developed in what they thought he potentially could be. He really kind of just played on that fourth line. He was kind of a grinder type player, and grinders in the league they tend to bounce around and have kind of tumultuous careers in that sense. So like, yeah, he got picked up by the Calgary Flames, and it's kind of bittersweet. Like maybe he needed a change of scenery, and maybe he'll blossom with the Flames. But I don't know. I'm not like I'm very neutral on like seeing him go. It's just it's just
He
frustrating that it's just another more proof of a failed draft pick by Sweeney.
wasn't an impact player the way that you needed him to be. And it's everything you guys just said. Just this team has just had a miserable experience from a draft standpoint. But some of these other guys we mentioned that they've brought in, have kept this team going. I mean, the contract for Geeky looks like a great contract, as Gabe said. You're paying a top scorer in the league, half price probably. Uh, the goalie finally starting to earn that kind of money. McAvoy being down sucks as a top two defenseman, but you got to give credit to somebody like Zadorov who's come in and kind of like embraced this big bad Bruins mentality once again. So, look, this team just has to keep its head above water here as they continue into the December stretch and a ton of games coming up over the course of that time because you're going to have that Olympic break come up in February, and so that the Bruins are going to be busy with games coming up here. So there'll
We
be lots
are
to talk about over the next couple of weeks for sure. Go ahead,
one of our
Josh.
favorite things to talk about with hockey, though, and you really kind of have to start looking at it already, is the games in hand. The Bruins have played more games than any other team right now. It's
I
actually
know.
crazy. They
There he
played
goes.
24 games, and then most of other teams have played 21. No, that I mean, say what you want, but that's 6 points right there. That's
Look
actually a
at
lot.
that.
So that's a playoff spot or not right there. So
Yeah.
they really need to come away with points. Even if they're losing these games, they have to force these overtime games and come away with the pity point. But they really have to start doing that if they want to
Nope.
make some headway.
It's what
No
good
pity
teams do.
points for the Bruins this year. Funny enough,
That's what I'm
13,
saying.
13 and
13 and
11.
11.
So it's been losses in
They've won all their
regulation, or
overtime
they've
games,
gone to
yeah.
overtime and they've been able to win the game. So team that and another team that was able to win 2 games this week. We talked about this team, the team in green, saying that the next time we reconvene, look at me fucking rhyming. I'm like Snoop Dogg over here.
Look at this.
When we came back today, there we go, Kras, that they should have a winning record. They do, but I don't know if it necessarily happened in the way that we thought it would. The home and home with Brooklyn, Big E, as well as Orlando. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, similar to the Pats. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't really feel good about them being 9-8 and going 2-1 over this last week. And here, let me tell you why. Right, Tuesday last week, they beat the Nets, pretty ho hum, 113-99, great game out in Brooklyn. All right. Then we have this Fakakta NBA Cup Court thing that's going on Friday. I don't know if anyone viewed the court, but it just hurts my eyes. It's
Oh,
just
we
stupid.
saw it.
I'll have
There'll
a
be more
seizure if
there'll
I
be
do.
more about that court later
Yeah.
on
Oh,
in the penalty box. You'll hear a little bit more about
Oh,
that.
okay. All right.
But just a defensive lapse by the Celtics. They literally were owned from start to finish against the Nets, and Jaylen Brown had some fiery comments after the game that like, hey, if you're not gonna show up, just or if you're not gonna play, don't show up, right? Like
That's an effort
basically,
thing.
yeah, like and
definitely.
and and I respect him for doing that because that's what a leader is supposed to do, and he has really shifted into that leadership role this year. So good on Jaylen Brown for calling out the rest of the team for like not really giving their best effort. They're
D
playing against
White.
the Nets and D White. They're playing the Nets who are not a really good team. They're one of the worst teams in the league. Michael Porter Jr. puts up 33 against you, and yes, the Nets do have size, so that's one thing that they do have an advantage over the Celtics. But you should be able to take care of them pretty easily, 99 times out of 100. So that was disappointing. And then they beat Orlando on Sunday, which looks really good when you look at the score. The score is 138-129, but they were up huge in that game in the first half. And what did they do? They let Orlando back into the game in the third quarter. They were up 26 points,
Shocking.
and this
Fourth
game
quarter.
became a single digit game, right?
They
So
scored 40 points in the fourth quarter. The
Phew.
Magic.
Yeah.
yeah, so just in general, like it's nice that it was a bounce back from Friday, but like this team has the inability to hold on to leads. And this is not new with this team. This was something that the championship level team was doing. So those are things that are frustrating. Again, it's nice to be over 500. This team is still kind of what I think we expected this team to be, a team that's still through like their first 20 games still trying to find their identity of what they are and what they're going to be. I still think that this team is probably a play-in team at this point, and it's not because they're a bad team. It just seems like some of the other teams around us in the conference are playing much better. And yes, Tatum will be back at some point this year, we hope. And I expect the energy will shift when that happens. But we still kind of really need to see what this team is. So, as far as my panic level on this team, it's still a 3 or 4 because I don't think they have their identity on what they want to be yet. So, and they're still kind of figuring that out on the fly.
Yeah,
What?
a big stretch of games coming up against teams that have winning records, in teams that you're gonna be competing with. Uh, Anybody else want to chime in here on the
I
Celtics, Gabe? You
I
got a
think
take?
uh I think you could see they were starting to form a bit of an identity, Eric, against Orlando. They were playing really fast, really hard,
Yeah.
playing good defense, getting a lot of turnovers. I think that that's what they need to do this season is go away from that 3-point shooting and play in the trenches and play tough and just be a scrappy team and get the hard points. Don't always just jack up threes. And I think that they're starting to figure out that if they play more like that, then they'll size up a little better with the league this year. But I still, they're still a player away, Jason Tatum away from
I think they're
being
more
that
than a
Yeah,
player
next
away,
level.
though.
Yeah,
I
I
but
think they're
agree.
more than
no,
a player away because
Yeah,
I
no.
think they traded away a bunch of pieces at the end of the year, and it's not because they wanted to trade those guys. They had to because of unfortunately cap implications with the CBA.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunately a mechanism that no one who's a fan of the team, ownership, or anyone wanted to do these things. They had to do them to stay competitive in the long run. But I think one thing you just brought up, Gabe, is like the state of play and how they need to change. Like I think Jaylen Brown has actually done an excellent job of that this year. Like he is the king of the mid range, and he really, yes, does he shoot threes? Of course he does. But his amount of threes taken are definitely less than what they have been in the past, and he's taking what the defense is giving him. Now I'd love to see the rest of the team kind of follow suit with that. And yeah, certain players like maybe Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard, maybe that doesn't necessarily need to fall to them as much as some of the other guys, but like be a little bit more prescriptive with how they're going to play a little bit than what they've done in the past. So yeah, I can't emphasize what you said enough because I think that is really important.
The Missoula pressed the right buttons versus Orlando and really going away from the bigs. I mean, Keita and Garza played a combined 6 minutes in that game, so it's
Wow.
he's going from a matchup standpoint, but they still have the rebounding issue, which is what gets them at the end of these games as well when they're trying to hold the big leads because the other team just starts to try a little bit harder to get that 50-50 ball. It's this up and down seesaw for the Celtics. I don't think that, listen, the expectations for this team were get into the playoffs and see if something can happen with Tatum. Uh, I don't know. There really hasn't been any Tatum chatter as well in terms of like where he's at with his recovery. It's been all quiet on the Western Front from that standpoint, and I don't think you're going to see him anytime before the All-Star
No.
break. I mean, we were saying March, and that you will start to see the Tatum media train take off when it's
Yeah.
time for him to
I,
to start to come
I
back.
my,
So
I think
my,
that's by design though. I think that's truly by
yeah,
design why we haven't heard
fine with
anything
me.
about him.
I'm
It's
kind of
fine.
amending my take a little bit on that too. I think that if the team was in a better position right now, I think they would maybe potentially want him before the All-Star break, but you have to look at the league as a whole. And I'm actually really this is the first time I'm actually like diving into the standings, and there's some really surprising teams in the East right now that are like catching my eye. And
Detroit.
that is what is the most concerning to me for the Celtics is it's the teams around them that they have to get through and take care of. It's Detroit's 14-2, Toronto 12-5, Cleveland 12-6, Miami
Miami.
11-6, Atlanta 11-7, like and then New York, who's a good team, 9-6. That rounds out the top six. That is what makes me concerned is the teams that are in that top six and that the fact that they're not putting themselves in a position to even like be a top six team with Tatum coming back, and later in the year for that month stretch when they probably would get him back even. So I don't know if there's a reason to even push him depending on where they are in the
That
standings.
it's what this next month will determine with the games that they have against these sorts of teams. So, like, are you competitive, or are we going to be sitting here as we flip to 2026 and they're 15 and 14 and we're still trying to figure out who they are. So, uh, lots to be figured out for them, and still a work in progress here. It is a brand new team. Joe's trying to go 11-12 deep, so. Interesting season for
Kraz,
them.
what's your take? I feel like you have a different take than all of us on the whole state of the
yeah,
Celtics.
kind of let you guys. I tried to chime in, but I got overtaken. Uh, I mean, again, we're not even at the 20 game mark yet, so I don't. Again, the next stretch of games that they have Detroit, they have Minnesota, and they also have Cleveland. Those are all great teams. Those are all competitive teams. You say what you want about Detroit, but they're 12-2 or 14-2.
They're,
Um,
they're good,
Yeah,
really.
That's
I think you can
crazy.
only say good things about Detroit.
Yeah,
They
they're
they
really
are they
good.
are
and
How are they so
good
good?
team.
Cade
Cleveland,
Cunningham, is he coming
yeah,
out?
Yeah, oh yeah.
and they're a great team. So a lot of the times the Celtics always show up for the big games. So that's the thing that kind of gets me. There was one take that Eric's been hopping on about, and that's getting rid of Anthony Simons. I, I I don't see that happening. I mean, Eric, again, you're obviously entitled to your opinion. I keep watching this kid play, and I don't see how
Do you see him long
we
term with
can.
the team?
Yeah, I do. I do
I feel
see
like
him
they
long
would have
term with
to
the
like
team.
restructure his contract.
Oh,
They're gonna have to
100%.
they're gonna have to re-sign him, and I think his contract is worth more to them to move it off and get under the tax
Yeah, no,
because
that's completely.
and
I get
I
that,
feel
but
like
I'm
it's more
just.
about the money for him.
it's not a knock on the player at all. So I want to make sure that that's clear. I like Anthony Simons. I think he's a good
Yeah,
offensive player off the bench. I just think he's the easiest pathway for them
He
to
gets,
get under the tax.
yeah, he gets
I
paid too
think they'll
much
find a way to
personally.
keep him
Exactly.
personally.
That's the problem. He gets paid too much.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think they'll find a way to keep him, whether it's restructuring other contracts, whatever it may be. I don't know the ins
Well,
and outs of the
he's a
game.
free agent, so they're going to have to sign him at the end of the year if they
Yeah,
want to
but they
keep him.
can. I mean, I don't know how it works. They could always restructure Jalen Brown and those guys' contracts. Again, I'm not 100% how it works, but that's just my
He's
my
not
my
the
my.
capologist.
Yeah, I don't know.
He played great yesterday
He's a
against
baller.
Orlando.
Yeah.
I think he was one of the better guys on the court from what I could
That's
see.
why I think
So
that's a guy that you hang on to and you try to do what you can to keep him because he's, I think, a piece that you can use moving forward. Especially coach. Defense is one of those things where you can coach it to a degree. There's some unintangibles that you can't really coach, but you can definitely push people in the right direction
Hmm.
to be able to utilize those intangibles to the best of their abilities. And Joe's that kind of coach to do so. We're seeing it right now with Jordan Walsh and his explosion with playing Paulo Banchero and playing Tyrese Maxey, and then I think he played up against another guard and kind of stalemated him as well. So this team, it's still really tough to find an identity because they shipped half of their team
My,
out,
my thing
and
is, would you rather have Anthony Simons though have a contract, or potentially put that towards like a someone like a big man who they actually really need to get? That's what I'm trying to say. Is like use the money more wisely for a player that like a real big like a true
Yeah.
need. Like
I think
they have the scoring right now. Like when especially when Tatum comes back, like because Simons will take a huge back seat. So I just feel like they could put the money in a better opportunity for the team.
my take on Anthony Simons is I trust that Brad Stevens is going to do the right thing for the team, whether that's keeping him or trading him. So if he's on the team post trade deadline, then that means that Brad Stevens sees something with him long term. And if he gets moved at the deadline, then Brad sees a way that he's going to upgrade the team by moving him. I'm all for whatever Brad's going to do because Brad has earned the right to
true.
make those moves and for us not to second guess them based on his track record thus far. So that's how I'm going to leave it at that point. So we'll see what happens with him, but Brad is going to be the ultimate decision maker here.
In
As he
Brad
should be.
Stevens, we trust. In Brad Stevens, we trust. We'll see how it all pans out. Lots to come for the Celtics. Kraz, let's take a minute to check on the stovetop. Are we simmering? Are we boiling? Anything going on? Let's do a quick baseball check in here, and then we'll keep the show on the road, baby.
still kind of simmering. Little bit of MLB news. Brandon Nimmo, the outfielder from the New York Mets, went to Texas for second baseman Marcus Semien from the Texas Rangers. We weren't even called on for per reports for our outfielders, which is really interesting considering Nimmo is an outfielder. Tells me that we're really well suited up as far as our infield goes. Um, is that the writing on the wall that they're going to sign Bregman? I don't know. We've been
Do you,
seeing a lot on Instagram. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Bregman's training, and you got Roman Anthony and Crochet kind of posting banter back and forth. So I mean, they're still really close. Again, are they just friends because of the bond that they made this year? And business is business, or is there something that we don't see behind the scenes that's going on where they're gonna get a deal done or they're actually working on a deal. The only other really thing I wanted to talk about was Ime Satsua. He's a pitcher in the NPB or whatever the baseball league is over in Japan. Um, he's really, really good. He actually had a interview with Dice K not too long ago, and Dice K was like, "Oh, you need to go play for the Red Sox." And believe it or not, the Sox are actually one of the more favored teams to get this guy. And he's been on the record as saying as he doesn't want to play with Otani and Yamamoto and Roki
Well, I like
Sasaki.
that.
He wants to beat them.
Little
Um,
Japanese rivalry in the MLB.
I love
About
that.
Yeah,
so
what do you want to just be a side piece to the others? Like, come on, no.
yeah. So we don't have our number two pitcher yet. So again, whether it comes via trade, whether it comes via money, we have the money to spend, so we might as well go out and spend it. Clearly, these arms coming from Japan, and even the bats for that matter, are pretty legitimate. So I'm pretty comfortable in spending the money there. I feel like the scouts
It,
over there have a really good idea of what they're doing. So
it's crazy. Are we in the golden age of Japanese baseball players? And that's crazy to say because like in the early 2000s, you had some great
Ichigo.
players that came over like Ichiro, Matsuzaka, or you had you have Daisuke, say what you
Hideki
want about
Matsui,
Daisuke, yeah, Matsui, like there were some really good players that came on over, but I feel like the talent that's come over in the last like 5, 6 years has been like incredibly impressive. What are your thoughts on that, Grass?
um,
They're
You watch
doing
the Little
something right
League
in
World
Japan,
Series.
that's
They've
for
been good
sure.
forever.
yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I mean,
Even if you
as
take
far as
Shohei
like,
out of it, like the rest of the guys have been
yeah,
phenomenal.
I mean, I guess Japan's just building a good program over there. Maybe they're,
It's all about
just like Russia and
fundamentals,
Watch
China are
out for
man.
them
doing
for the
there.
World Baseball Classic.
They don't win
Well,
the Little
they
League World
won.
They
Series every year
won.
for no
I
reason.
They're
know,
Like,
I
they
know.
won the
They
last World
they did.
Baseball
They're
Classic.
probably
So
going to win the next one.
Shohei
20.
struck out Mike Trout to end it. I mean, that was
Yeah.
pretty epic. Yeah, they're favored to win it again.
it's got to be like discipline. Like those players over there are so
Oh
disciplined. It's
yeah,
like,
I mean, they were
The culture thing.
samurais at
yeah.
one point. It was yeah, and then after just yeah.
Samurai
Samurai
Shohei.
Sam. That's
Samurai Show,
baseball with
Samurai
Samurai
Shohei.
Sam. We had Scientist Sam last week. We have Samurai Sam this week. And you never know who else Sam might be coming in future episodes. That's baseball. Stove, really,
So good.
there's nothing on it, and we will get there when we get there. Looking forward to the hot stove show when it does start to turn up. We reached out to our good friend Jemai Webster, so hopefully we'll have him back on to do a little hot stove when it gets cooking. Uh, Anybody cooking in the penalty box today, boys? Anybody cooking in
Oh
the penalty
yeah.
bodon't
Oh
All
yeah. We got
right,
we got
doors open,
we don't
doors
we don't
closed.
have a
Who's in, who's
person in
out?
the penalty box. We have a an NBA court in the penalty box. This NBA Cup, these courts, put them in the box. 5 minute major. This is ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a traditionalist when it comes to the Celtics. The parquet is absolutely beautiful. It's what it should be. It's what they played on in the 50s and 60s, and they continue to play on today. This Fakakta green court that they play on, and some of these other courts, like I don't know if you guys saw the
The
Houston
FCC
Rockets.
regulation.
It's
Yeah.
all it's all red. Like, come on, just play on normal courts. Like this makes me hate the NBA Cup. It makes me absolutely despise
It's
it. And
it's
honestly,
the most useless fucking thing the NBA has ever done is
it
this
is
NBA Cup
the
bullshit.
NBA
Ooh,
Cup.
it's the
The
Emirates
NBA
NBA
Cup
Cup.
should not just the courts, but the NBA Cup deserves in the
You want
penalty
Guys,
to know what's
box.
guys,
fakakta? The
let's
entire
have it.
NBA Cup is
Let's have an
fakakta.
in-season tournament and give these overpaid athletes even more money for winning.
It's
Like,
it's
what a
abs
fucking concept.
it's
It's
one of
so
the
dumb.
stupidest fucking things. The only reason they did it is so that they could get some sort of
It's
sponsorship
so
and
dumb.
pretend. It doesn't matter at all. Nobody cares. They
It's
have
all about
62 different
the
fucking
Oh, it's all
money.
jerseys.
about Emirates.
It's
It's all
all
about
it's
Emirates
yeah,
Airlines.
exactly. So they get their shine and get to post their
Hey, you want to know
airplanes
what,
all
Emirates?
over.
Why don't you sponsor the postseason and then, maybe you'll get a little more bang for your buck.
Well, that's because YouTube sponsors the postseason because they
It's
put
fine.
their
It's
logo on the court and all
American
that
sponsor.
bullshit.
Well, there's a
American.
conflict of interest there
Love
because
that capitalism.
What about American Airlines?
big NBA backer there, ESPN owned by Disney and YouTube. They got their own issues going on
Yeah,
there
we got a
too.
lot to talk about with
Experience
that.
Abu Dhabi.
Apparently, and
Or not.
Kyle Williams, who was in there, is we're letting out after showing
He
proving
served his shift.
proof of
He did.
life in Cincinnati. So good for him.
Proof of life.
Proof
It's
of
so
life.
true.
Yeah. So
We
No,
have a
what?
pulse.
yeah,
Kyle
Eric.
Williams, hey, he that 18-yard catch, like he's pretty quick. I feel like
He
if he
is.
slipped that tackle,
Keep
he would have
running the
been out
digs.
again.
Keep running the slants and get him while he's getting across the field. And he's got to step on his man. I think they'll mix him in a little bit more. So put him on an end around or something too, or one of
Uh,
those like little plays where the shovel pass that May had to Henry. I like that play. They
oh
should
yeah,
they
that's
should figure
nice.
that out with some other things. All right, Big E, you got some life in you tonight.
Oh yeah, I do. And let's talk a little bit about why I got some life
That was actually a
in
good
me.
opening.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Thank you. Good transition. There are the things that I hate, the things that I don't like, the things that make me, get up and go, oh, PU, smelly, gross, out of here. Yeah, oh, get
You.
out of here. And then there are the things that I love, the things that make me have a zest for life, the
Oh, I
things
thought you
that
were gonna
make
say
me
something else.
no, no, no. These things that make me get up in the morning and scream from the top of my lungs.
There goes the table.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
Oh
we got a
yeah.
fully loaded oh yeah and yeah oh segment. Let's start off with the yeah ohs so we get a little bit more positive. We're back at it again, boys. We got a whole nother situation. This time it's Fubo TV with
Uh-oh.
NBC Universal. I'm fucking around with the goddamn clicker. Kraz was there yesterday. I'm losing my mind because I can't watch the fucking Celtics. I'm so done. I'm so done. And this is what I tried it, guys. I gave it a fair shot. I'm going back to the king,
Xfinity reached
and he
out.
can take my money because I ain't doing this fucking bullshit anymore. I want to watch sports when I want to watch sports. If it's going to cost me an extra 50
Ex-
bucks a month, so be it. I don't care. These fucking YouTube TVs, these Fubo TVs, this whatever TV can fuck itself. I'm out.
I do have a counterpoint that I read earlier today.
Xfinity reached
Oh,
out and
oh,
said,
and
give us a
I,
DM. We'll give you a deal.
I got a potential. Oh yeah,
They suck
apparently,
too.
apparently with ESPN, Disney, and YouTube, YouTube TV is going to be able to launch next year a sports only package that will be very minimal, but only for sports.
Yeah,
So only
very
sports
minimal.
channels.
That's the key
Yeah,
word.
so then
Yeah.
you can't get Nessun through YouTube TV. So if I went to YouTube
Oh, so you
TV,
want
then I got to
you want
get the Nessun
ABC? You gotta
360
buy
app, and
something
then
else.
Oh, so
it's
you gotta fork over the $30 to Nessun for Nessun 360,
right. And do I want to pay this?
I-
might be the worst
Eric,
app of them
Eric,
all.
I was watching the game last night. The quality. I wasn't the only one. I went on YouTube to on X Twitter to check it out. It They couldn't figure out. It was like watching a game in the 2000s. It was crazy. It was all pixely, and I was like,
Tube
"What am I
TV.
Oh, I
doing
have
right
cable,
now?
man.
They suck.
What am I doing?"
Cable, baby. I
Insane.
went back.
I think it's time. I'm gonna give it like
Full
another
circle.
week or two. But if I'm missing Celtics games because of this fakakta bullshit, I'm
Fakakta.
done. I'm out. Yeah, that no, I think that's like 5 now. So we might as well go for double digits if we can.
Let it fly, man.
All right, we got
The
another.
Yiddish is flying tonight.
Yeah, another
Speaking of,
yeah is
Stephen
this
A.
clown Stephen
Speaking
A.
of
Shut your
just-
fakakta,
mouth.
I
This
mean,
schmuck.
whoever wants to chime in on this situation, but another Stephen A. like just doing stuff to do
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm the one that put that in there. I mean, you all know how I feel about him. I think he's the most arrogant,
Do it.
self-centered New York prick in the whole entire world next to Max Erlander. But it's just he thinks that everyone knows. I don't even know what the fuck the name of his show is.
First
And
thing.
I watch sports. I mean, I am on a sports fucking podcast. I don't know. And pardon my take, first interruption. I don't fucking know. I have no idea what the name of his show is. I don't watch ESPN since they got rid of top 10. Like those days of ESPN are gone. It's all local stuff now. I don't watch this fucking national bullshit anymore because the narrative is all anti New England since it's gone national. So there's just no rhyme or reason to watch it. And to think that these athletes give a shit about what fucking channel you're on or what kind of show you have, dude, go fuck yourself. You're an idiot. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah, you have a huge social gathering on whatever platform you're on because you're on TV, but yeah, you're an
Hey,
idiot. You don't
Stephen
know what you're
A.
talking about.
Stephen A. Go back to playing solitaire during the NBA Finals because
It was Candy Crush.
I don't or whatever. I don't forget the fact that he was playing some game instead of watching the NBA Finals last year. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, no one cares about your opinion if that's what's going to take up your attention instead of an actual like championship contending game.
I'm gonna
Come
turn
on.
this
Well,
into an oh yeah. Did anyone see Stephon Diggs and Drake May during their little pregame handshake? And
uh,
Stephon Diggs goes like this, and then Drake May goes like he was like, nah, not doing that.
Ah, that's good.
Not
Little
doing the
Cam Newton.
Superman. Oh,
we're
it's
done.
great. It
We're
was
Well,
done with
great.
that's the
that.
thing is you call Drake May a liar, and he's like the most humble dude ever. Like the kid is
Like, get out of
has
here.
is so genuine and so nice, and like you're going after one of the most humble athletes in the NFL probably at the moment.
Don't you
Like,
come
Because he's
after our
sour.
boy.
Because
Don't
he's
you come after
sour.
him.
I mean, to
yeah.
be honest, Drake May probably watches whatever his fucking wife watches on Netflix, like
Well,
Love on
that's the Food Channel
whatever.
because that woman is cooking
Oh,
bread
his
every
wife
week.
is the
Have
queen
you
of the
seen
north.
All
have
those
you
comments are
seen all the
great.
comments in her in
They're
her
It's
great. Those
amazing.
comments are
they're
great.
like, make sure you feed our boy.
Yeah,
No,
So
shout
not
that's
too
what
out.
he's
much though.
watching.
He
He's
doesn't
not
want a
watching
bellyache for the
ESPN.
game.
The last thing I would want to do if I'm a professional athlete is sit there and watch people talk shit about me.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that's a
no, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
We've given Stephen A enough of our airtime.
he's at
Get out of here.
Yeah,
practice or
I
like
gotta,
in
I
the
gotta,
weight
oh,
room.
I gotta, oh yeah. And this is based on just the order of when this happened. If you all watched the Thursday night football game last week, the ref, which was this is a Yahoo, but the head ref went down with some sort of like ACL or
Oh, I
some
Oh
did
type of
see
yeah.
that.
Oh,
injury.
it was
Like he
terrible.
had to get
Yeah.
carted off. But Roy
That made me
Ellison, the
laugh.
man, the umpire, he took over flawlessly. Put that white hat on, calling the penalties left and right. I don't know if you saw the last penalty call, but he was basically like he was like pass interference on the offense. He had like such a pause. It was great. It was great. Sign that man up. He should be a ref in my eyes. Love that dude.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, Roy Ellison.
Very rarely do we give the referees credit, but Roy Ellison, welcome to your 15 minutes of fame. Hopefully it results in 15 years of referee in the NFL. Uh, oh yeah, to the Firefly. We did it. We
We
did.
did
Very
it.
spontaneous last minute trip to the Fly happened. We've mentioned our good buddy Erky Dirk was with us here this weekend. You may have seen on the socials the agony of defeat. And Erka Dirk has a very cultivated
Palette.
taste when it comes to his food. And you have to be very selective in
Loves
terms
Chinese
of
food.
that taste.
Loves Chinese
Chicken
food.
nuggets, French fries, and
Pizza.
pizza. Thank
Attaboy.
you.
So we had to
I
make
forgot
sure
the
that
third
one of
one.
those items appeared on the menu, and Fireflies thankfully caters to everybody. So we had a delicious meal at the Fly. Gabe, how was your leftover ribs during game day? So it's as good as the day before?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes even better. It's crazy how well barbecue can travel the next day.
I didn't hear
Um,
you. I didn't hear you enough, Gabe. Did you say oh yeah? Did you
oh
say oh
yeah.
yeah? Oh yeah.
Oh
That
yeah.
was that was a good time. Erky has a new nickname, the Crispy Rizzler. Uh, so he was able to rizzle his way to getting two free pieces of cornbread on his way out. Uh,
Oh,
so I mean that's a pretty
those
baller
probably
move
didn't
in my
last long,
opinion.
I'm sure.
No, they didn't.
They made it
No, I
till
think he saved them
About
till
15
football
minutes.
the next day. So,
Oh,
they did make it till football
proud
the
of you,
next
work.
day.
but
Uh,
great meal overall, and
oh
always good to support the Flies. Just with what they've gone through and the family keeping it afloat. So, I mean, the food is phenomenal. I
It's an
mean,
yeah,
oh
if
my
institution.
God.
if there's anything to be said, it's the fact that they've mastered the food and it's just as good as it's always been, which was awesome to be there. Great time as always, and yeah, the Crispy Rizzler is just a fantastic new nickname for our good buddy Max, and we love you, buddy. All right. The reason Max was here is because a few of us others also got to attend the fantastic Ripe Show at MGM Music Hall on Friday night. I touched back down to Earth today. So, uh, Eric, I think you've been on Earth longer than I have. What did you think of the show?
Oh, show was awesome. I think like even starting before the show, like pregame at Lansdowne was great just to like get together with everyone. There was like what, 70 people there that were friends and family, all there kind of gathered for the show. Getting on over at the show was awesome. Wright played an awesome show. They were definitely feeling it. Happy to be back in Boston. Plotty was great to vibe with you. Great to be there with Max as well as some of our other friends. So overall, awesome time. Always a great time when Ripe's in town. So we did miss a few of the guys here who couldn't make it, but we still had an amazing time while we were all there.
Yeah, oh Cisco.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Cisco.
Oh,
Oof. Yeah. I mean, you can't pull the rug out from somebody like that. And Cisco Fenway had mentioned us doing a live show there, and then went dark on us. So Cisco Fenway, guess what? You're in the penalty box.
Two
So
minute minor.
Oh,
2 minute
2 minute
minor.
minor
maybe a 5 minute
for
major.
it might be a double minor because it's
double
two
minor.
infractions of minor. Yeah, I like the double minor. So, yeah, Cisco Fenway. Yeah, oh to Cisco Fenway, which I never thought I would say. Uh, that's gonna do it for. Well, actually, I can't say that. It's the holiday here. This week on Thursday, the Thanksgiving table set. If you've listened to the show, you know that we all love food and whatnot. So, fellas, Thanksgiving on the table. Anything about the day that you're looking forward to, put it all out there. Whatever you're looking forward to for Thursday.
Multiple
Football. Just
plates.
just like no, no, no.
Multiple.
Like starting football like early. What time does the first game kick off? Like noon? Like something
12
like
or
that?
12:30,
One
yeah.
Yeah,
o'clock,
just
and it's Packers Lions too. Great
I
game.
mean the
Ah,
slate actually is decent this
great
year and
Yeah,
slate.
like
really good. Decent. It's
just in
incredible.
general, I think like I always have fond memories on football on Thanksgiving, whether it was going to my papa's house or just anywhere it's always on and it's something that I synonymously think of when I think of Thanksgiving. So the food is great for sure and certainly not going to overlook that, but it to me it is like football, friends, family, food, and just all that all together in one makes the perfect day.
No
All the
doubt. Anybody
F's.
else?
Agreed.
Said it
Yeah, no,
perfectly.
food is that's my biggest thing. I
All the
love a good
food,
home cooked meal, man.
And
all
it's
the
nice
I
not
think our turkey's still walking around as we speak.
food.
it's nice not to have to travel too. Like I don't think any of us are really traveling too far. Mostly local and
25 minutes.
traveling during the holiday is such a bitch, so I'm glad that I personally am able to stay a bit local and at Francesca's parents' house, they have a gravy fountain that I'm hoping
Oh,
will make another appearance this year. I'm very
Wow.
maybe
excited.
I'll be coming down to Rhode Island.
Epic.
Well, you're welcome,
That's
I'm sure.
There's
that's
plenty
impressive.
of us here.
You're gonna have to take a video of the gravy fountains and
I
make
got
sure
you.
that we get to see that in
It's gonna
action.
go on the
Uh,
socials.
yeah,
Just gonna
looking
I would like take a piece of turkey and just like hold it there.
Yeah.
looking forward to the day. It's always a good one. I think the best part is the family gets together. Some friends are back in town that you might not get to see. So it's always great to use this week as a reconnection week. So great stuff. Great day of football and food on deck with this Thursday, as well as football. Let's take this baby home on the Pike, fellas. Let's start there in the Pike. J Matt, what are you looking forward to the most from a football
There's a
standpoint this week?
really good slate of games this week. I'm gonna go just based on where the Pats are in the standings and how they have to keep looking. I mean, obviously the Broncos, but they're playing the Commanders, so screw that game. Texans Colts. Eric, you like the Texans? The Texans showed out last Thursday with that defense. Colts kind of came back to earth a little bit. Danny Jones looked like Danny Jones, so we'll see if the Texans can put a beat down on the Colts and give us a little bit more breathing room between them, and hopefully that the Broncos can lose too.
Colts have a very tough schedule down the stretch, so I'm certainly they're definitely a threat, but I think I feel a little bit better about them than I did, a week or two ago.
Agreed.
Trending down.
Yeah, for sure. Daniel Jones, don't count on him in the playoffs for sure. Gabe, what are you looking forward to? A slate of games against some original six teams going on
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah, the Bruins got a few games against the New York teams, New York Islanders, New York Rangers. playing the Detroit Red Wings on Saturday. So, some good games on the docket. I think whenever you can get the Bruins Rangers going, I think that's a fun rivalry to watch, and especially with the Crispy Rizzler, it makes it even more exciting. So, that's my game of the week is
A little
Friday night. Friday
Black
at 1
Friday.
p.m.
All
I
A little
right,
love
Black
it.
Friday
here's a bet,
matinee.
guys.
Always classic. That's a
Yeah.
classic slate. I
Yeah,
love
Love
that.
it.
Over or
Love,
under?
love.
Over or under? Erky's jerseys, if he's wearing one, point 0.5, half of a
Over.
jersey. Is he wearing
Over.
a jersey or is he not wearing one?
Over.
Over. Over.
I mean, I think that the line should more be like 2.5 days a week or like three and a
I
half
mean, we
days a
we all
week.
saw the cherry Eli Manning one that he brought to Texas. So I guarantee he's going to be wearing that next Monday.
While
That
we
thing was
while we're
sweet,
talking
huh?
about Texas,
Texas making a comeback.
Texas making a comeback in a
Yeah.
huge college football game taking place in Michigan again with Ohio State, Michigan. It's rivalry week in college football, so there's an excellent slate, and they play starting on Friday. So definitely be tuning into that and see how the playoff also shapes out. And Big E, the Celtics got a slate going on this week as well. What are you some good
Yeah.
teams on the docket
Yeah,
too?
three tough teams. They're playing Detroit, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Cleveland Cavaliers. For me, it's going to be the Detroit game. It's coming up
Yeah.
on Wednesday this week, and they played Detroit decently well when they played them last time. They fell behind, but they fought and tried to claw to come back, and I think that might have been the first game of that winning streak for Detroit. So I think it would be a little bit poetic if the Celtics were the ones to end that streak. I'm not saying that they will, but I think that they might have a good opportunity this week. So
Is
we'll see
that
what
really at
happens.
5 p.m. that start? Not a
Yeah,
typo?
it's 5
Yeah.
5 p.m. on Wednesday. Hey,
Weird.
everyone's gonna get their games in before Stranger Things starts streaming at 8 o'clock
Ooh.
Oh, it's
Wednesday
back.
So
Good
you
call. Good
know
Shit.
call.
the
Wow.
the NBA
Oh
saw
yeah.
Celtics and Pistons, and they
Oh
said,
yeah.
"Oh yeah, we gotta get this game in before we lose all the viewers for
Billy
Stranger
Bobby
Things."
Brown and Vecna.
Vecna
Kraz,
just rolls off the
anything
tongue.
that you're looking forward to this week from a games perspective can be any sport, anything that tickles you. Your oh, I
You
Fancy.
took
not
us.
gonna
Tickle my
say
pickle.
it.
Tickles you took us.
Tickles those
It
two
tickles your
kindly
floss, your
washed
couscous
golf
over there.
Tickle my pickle.
balls.
Definitely
Whoa.
I would have to say that the Boston Detroit game and then also the Celtics Cleveland game are going to be the two biggest games. Like I mentioned before, that's really going to I feel like tell us where we are. I mean, it's not going to really tell us where we are as a team, but it's going to give us a good gauge.
Tell us or tell us?
Tell us.
All right, park the car. Park the car, Claude.
Parking it. We're gonna park
Like
it right now,
Talit is
but
over
we're
there.
kind of still going for an extra lap here. Don't forget, we got Ron Poster, organist for the Boston Bruins. That's going to be coming up right now
Listen
on the
in.
Boston Sports Brothers. We had an excellent time with him, myself, Kraz, and Big E. So tune in, gentlemen, near, far, wherever you are. To the listeners, thanks for tuning in. Ron Poster, right now. Don't leave
The
your radio.
organist
Don't
of the
leave the.
Bruins.
Keep it
Happy
right here
Thanksgiving,
for
everyone.
Happy
Ron
Thanksgiving,
Poster.
boys.
Peace. Do
Later.
it, Ben, without further ado, in five, four, three, two, one. Heyo, and welcome back to the Boston Sports Brothers podcast, a very special Thanksgiving week episode, and we have a very special guest with us today. We're recording during the daytime here, as we have Ron Poster. He's the organist for the Boston Bruins, and he's got his BC swag on today as well, as he plays for the Boston College Eagles at the Conte Forum. Ron just played his 1,000th game at the TD Garden, so many congratulations to you, Ron. That's an awesome accomplishment. And Ron is also a Casio endorsed artist and is known for playing piano at several Boston venues, including Sinatra Sundays at Capo, which I have been to and is absolutely amazing. And he's at Carrie Nation Friday evenings and Bostonia Public House midweek. Ron, great to have you with us today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We got some questions for you. We want to jump right into our conversation today, and so let's get rolling here, Ron. I think the first thing is, and we'd all love to know, and the audience would love to know, what got you into piano? What got you into music? What has led to this illustrious career that you've had?
So, as a kid, I was very awkward, as most kids are. And I joined band in fourth grade playing saxophone, and I was very good at it. And so it was the first thing I was very good at as a kid. It came naturally and felt very comfortable. And so I decided I wanted to be a music teacher, and all my music teachers could play piano. So I decided I needed to start learning how to play piano. And that's kind of what got me down that path.
Amazing. Love that. Love that. Kraz,
Gotcha. So,
take us
I was
away.
gonna say, so it sounds like kind of like a virtuoso of different musical instruments. With that being said, is there a certain composer or piece of music that you enjoy playing more than others?
Well, musical tastes have changed over the course of my career and my education. I was very into pop music growing up, and then I kind of became a jazz purist
Uh-huh.
and concentrated on jazz for a while, but then I opened up to different kinds of music, funk, swing. And so my biggest influences on piano, I would say, are Oscar Peterson, Count Basie, Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
But as a popular artist, also, I love the Beatles, Paul McCartney, Billy Joel, Elton John, ELO, Queen, and those are my biggest influences as a pop artist.
Love it.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. Hey, Ron, this is Eric over here. Um, just curious, what does a typical game day look like for you? What are some of the things that are happening behind the scenes at the Garden when you're gearing up for a Bruins game?
All right, so on a typical game day, I will get to TD Garden a couple hours or an hour and a half before the puck drop. And I'll get upstairs on the ninth level. Sometimes it takes a while to get in there. And I'll sit down and I'll warm up and I'll practice some new songs that I might want to work in. I'll look at the script and see if there's anything new that I'm going to have to go through for the game. I'll warm up. I'll play a little bit when doors open. Then I'm kind of on break. I'll go grab something to eat, watch warm ups once again, practice a little bit, maybe take care of any people who are stopping by the organ or if there's anybody I need to meet. Sometimes they bring tours through there. I'll
Hmm.
greet those people. And then the team comes out for warm-ups. And then after the warm-ups, that's when the official game presentation starts. I usually play Nut Rocker right after the officials introduction. Then we'll go through, they'll show the opening video. We'll do the national anthem if Todd is singing, and he usually is. And then we're off to the game. We do the introductions. And once the game starts, then it becomes more situational about what's going to happen. We play the game at intermissions. I'll maybe do a tune or do something that's in the script. They do happy birthdays. There's a whole other aspect of what's going on at the game when people are watching TV and they cut to commercial or they cut to the studio at Nesson.
Hmm.
The arena is filling that time with games and contests and promotions and stuff like that. So it's a whole thing. And then if the game goes on and we win the game, I'll play Paris as the victory song, which is the original Bruins theme song. And that's about it. That's game day.
Love
Yeah,
that.
you're a
Oh,
huge part of the game day experience, and like you had just mentioned, when they cut away for commercials and stuff like that, folks that are in house, you do a great job of keeping people entertained and engaged in the break. So it's always awesome to be able to be in the house to hear you do your stuff live. One follow up on that, I did want to ask. You had mentioned that like it's very situational about playing stuff as the game's going along. How do you get a feel for playing the right song or the right tune based on what's happening, what's going on in the game?
So you have to watch the game. And of course, I love hockey. And that's what prompted me to try and get the job as the organist for the Bruins because I love hockey so much and I love the team. I always tell people the Bruins game is a little bit different than every other gig I do. Usually you go somewhere, you set up, you play a bunch of songs, and then you leave. I think at the Bruins game, I might play a total if you add up everything of 15 to 20 minutes total. But the difference is at the Bruins games, I get paid to be ready to play the right thing at the right time. So you're watching the game, and what I play depends on what the score is, how the crowd is reacting, where the face-off is, what's happening, the energy and the vibe. And that's what I'm kind of trying to do. I try and be topical with all the selections that I play, regardless of if it's a long form at intermission or if it's a short form during the game. And I usually I write out a list of about 25 songs before the game. And those are if I have a brain freeze, I can look at that list and say, okay, I'm going to pick that song and go there because, in hockey is very fast and seconds seem like hours. And if I wait 2 or 3 seconds, it's noticeable. You have to be right there as soon as the whistle blows, as soon as something happens, you have to be right there with the song.
I think that's Ron's greatest trait. Like when there's a puck drop and you're getting like the organ going with the charge, but right as that puck drops, Ron's on it, he's out, like the play is on and it's right back to the game. So that the timing and everything that goes along with that is super impressive. We want to talk a little bit about the team this season, Kraz. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. So, Ron, you kind of alluded to how, you're a big fan of hockey, and that's the whole reason why, you kind of got this gig in the first place. But what are your thoughts on the team this season so far?
I love the team. That's all I'm really going to say about it. I love the
Yeah,
team. I love working at TD Garden. It's a privilege to be there, and I'm happy I have this gig.
Yeah.
awesome. Are there any other,
They're on a roll. They're on a roll this season so
they
far.
are
So it's been a lot of fun to
they are on
watch
a roll.
them.
I think that's been the best part is like it was a little up and down, but they've gotten on that roll, and it's been as a fan like amazing to see Marco Sturm come in and do what he's done. The entire organization, top to bottom, has reset, which is fantastic. Uh, it's a big holiday this week, Ron, so we gotta talk a little bit about that and some things going on there. Big E, take us away.
Yeah, so we have Thanksgiving coming up this week. What are you looking forward to most about the holiday this week? And yeah, just curious to hear your thoughts about Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is really my favorite holiday. And I love Thanksgiving because it has no agenda and it's just about spending time with family. So I'll be doing a little bit of traveling to see some cousins in New York. And I'm looking forward to coming back and playing the Black Friday game and then going over and doing my trio gig at Carrie Nation that night. But really, my favorite thing about Thanksgiving is the transition into the Christmas season, which is really my favorite. I love Christmas songs and I love playing Christmas songs. And once that happens, the new year will be here before you know it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Excellent.
fantastic. Um, One thing that we ask all of our guests as well is what's one of your favorite restaurants in town or the greater Boston area? We're compiling a list of all of our guests, so we're extremely curious to hear where your favorite spots are, Ron.
All right. Well, my three favorite spots in no particular order are Bostonia Public House by Faneuil Hall, Carrie Nation up on Beacon Hill, and Capo Restaurant in South Boston.
The best. So
The best, the best.
I had the pleasure of getting to see you play at Capo. This was like February, March of last year, and we were seated right at that table that's kind of behind you, side stage at Capo.
We call
And
that the backstage package. That's the
yeah, it
backstage
was
table, right?
spectacular sort of evening. You get to see, even if the curtain's down, you start still seeing the guys interact and get ready for the next set and what's coming. But my 95-year-old grandmother Shirley was there. You may or may not remember this, but you and Rich brought her up on stage, and she had the time of her life, and it was absolutely incredible. So and that's the best part, like. We're mid 30s. My parents were there in their 60s, my grandmother 95. And so like it was a generational night. And I think that's the best part of getting to see you guys play is you make it an experience for everybody that's there. And it's super enjoyable. So if you haven't seen Ron at one of those three places that he just mentioned, you got to get out, you got to do it. It's a night that you will remember for a lifetime. And that's a special memory for us, Ron. So much
Thank you. Yeah, I
appreciated.
do. I do kind of remember that. I do remember that. And bringing somebody from the audience on stage is not uncommon at our Sinatra show. the difference between our Sinatra show and the other shows is that it's not just somebody on stage singing songs. It's more Rat Pack inspired. It's fully interactive, and it's like the Bruins game in a way that we play to the situation at hand at that show. And we come out there with a song. We don't have any set list, and you know, once we get out there, the wheels are flying.
Absolutely. One thing I have to ask you, my wife would kill me if I didn't ask this is, so we just saw across social media, Rich is a good friend of yours who sings when you're doing Sinatra Sunday and all the shows around town, and his wife Rosie is on the Real Rhode Island Housewives now. So what are your thoughts on that and that coming out? I am looking forward to it. And is there any Sinatra Sunday or any footage of you guys that may be making the cut?
So they did come to film our show, and I've been told a entire segment is going to revolve around our show. And I think that it's coming out sometime in February, but that's all I really know about it. We all signed releases, and everybody who came down there for the show that night had to sign a release. But it was top secret, and it was hush hush. We told everybody that we were filming a documentary on my 25th year with the Bruins. And but now the cat's out of the bag, and it's okay to talk about it. But I can't really tell you anything about it. Rosie Woods Damari is going to be one of the stars, and it's going to be something to see. That's for sure. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Absolutely. It's gonna be fun to see. Looking forward to it. Kraz, you're a Rhode Island guy. You're gonna be tuning in.
Believe it or not, one of my someone that I went to high school with and uh, is like the family friend just through Rhode Island. What's it called? Everyone
Geography.
knows, yeah, Rhode Island geography.
Everyone knows everyone, right?
Yeah, Joelle and I went to high school with. She was in my Spanish class. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to see the people that they've selected for that show. So it'll definitely be interesting. It's going to be a mix of, New Jersey and New York and I don't think they've ever done one in Boston, but it would kind of be, I feel like, a mix between the two of those.
It'll be something to see, that's for sure. It'll be a fun thing to check out once it's out there. And as you said, like Rhode Island, everyone knows everyone, so you you probably have some sort of tie to
Oh,
the
it's yeah.
folks that are on that. Ron, tell us a little bit about what you have coming up over the course of the next couple of weeks that you obviously mentioned the three places you're playing, but anything going on special from a holiday standpoint, any sort of additional shows that people should be looking out for as we approach this time of year.
So we do have a Christmas themed show called a Sinatra Christmas, and we're playing at the Music Hall Lounge in Portsmouth. We're playing the Firehouse Center in Newburyport. We're playing the Courthouse Center in Rhode Island. We're playing the Bull Run out in Shirley. I know I'm missing one or two, but we have a Christmas themed show. And I think tickets are pretty much gone for those, but you might be able to get one or two. We're doing the Rex Theater in Manchester. And we might be adding a couple of things around Boston here, so keep out for that. We might be doing something at the Greatest Bar, a Christmas special there, and we might be doing one at the Prudential Center. And we've added Sinatra brunches to Capo, so we're doing those, and those are all going to be Christmas themed. People love the Christmas music, and we love playing it. Our show at Capo is basically sold out 5 weeks in advance. So we've added these brunch shows as kind of a release valve, and those are selling out very well. But other than that, I've got a lot of private events, a lot of corporate Christmas parties. There's a lot of games in December, and I'm squeezing in my gigs at Bostonia Public House and at Carrie Nation in between that. And it's pretty much a gig every day going on, sometimes two or three.
I was about to say, do you ever get to sleep, Ron? You ever get some time to yourself to be able to recharge the batteries? I know M Street Beach is one of your favorite spots to head over to.
That's my summer hang. And you know what? If it's a nice day in the summer, I will come up with any excuse to blow off work and go hang at the beach. But I pretty much gig every day, and I put it this way, I'd rather go somewhere and play music than sit at home and watch TV. And if I need a day off, I'll take a day off. But I like to be busy, and I have a nice tropical vacation coming up in February during the Olympic break, so I'll have some extended time then. And this is what I was talking about. I have a day off for Thanksgiving, and we get back, and it's going to be right back into Christmas, and then the New Year will be before you know it, and
Mhm.
then it'll be January, and then in January it'll be over in a couple of weeks, and then I'll be on a beach in the Caribbean. So
Love it.
looking
Love
forward to
it.
that. I think it's gonna happen, be over with before you know it.
Yeah, I mean the holiday season always flies by, and to have that vacation to look forward to coming up in February will be much deserved for you, Ron. Last thing we want to get you out on is where can people find you on the social media channels and follow you? And more importantly, where can they find tickets to all the different events that you have going on?
Okay, so you can follow me on social media at Ron Poster on Twitter and Insta. And I usually post about all my gigs on there. You can look at our website. It's called thenightofsinatra.com to find out about our shows. And if you want to come see me, you can always reach out to me, send me a message, and I will let you know where we're playing. But yeah, the Friday night schedule at Carrie Nation, Bostonia Public House at Bostonia Public House, Capo at Capo Boston, and that's Supper Club, South Boston, I think it is. But you can look up those venues. There's open table for all those places, so you can get reservations and come see me and say hi. Love to say hello to you.
Excellent. Ron, really, really appreciate your time. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Congratulations on the amazing career that you've had. Hopefully, another 1,000 games to go with the Bruins if you want to do it.
I hope so
And
too.
you'll catch Ron. You'll hear him when you're at the Bruins at BC Hockey, and if you're out at any of those spots he mentioned. Ron, have a fantastic Thanksgiving this week, and we'll see you down the line. Take care. We'll see you then.
Thanks very much, guys. Good to talk to you.
All right.
Thank you,
Take
Ron.
care.
You as well.
Thank you.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ron.
All
Appreciate it. That
right.
was great.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys, and have a great Thanksgiving. We'll look forward to
You
seeing you.
you as well.
Awesome.
Maybe I'll see you at Bostonia Public House in a week or two.
Yeah, come down, say hello.
I,
Definitely.
I certainly will.
Although my appearances there in December are going to be far and few between, but I will still be there. I'll be there every now and then. A lot of Christmas shows, lots of games, like I said. So
My company has a holiday party there, I think on the 6th. So if you're there on the 6th, I think it's a
what day is
Wednesday.
that?
I think it's a
It's a
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Oh, I think I am there on the 6th. Hold on a second. Let me look.
Big E and Ron are going to be having a beer together.
Absolutely.
So the
What's it?
6th of December is a Saturday.
Oh, 6th. Let me just double check.
Eric's like, oh, I don't
I'm sorry.
know.
I'm at the 3rd. I apologize.
3rd, I will not be there. I'm sorry.
Ah, no worries.
We got to
Another
we have
time.
an event for Watertown Savings Bank. But yeah, anytime you're around, come by and say hello.
Absolutely
Excellent.
will.
We'll
All
make it
right, guys.
happen.
Thanks a
Take care,
million.
Ron. Have a good
Thanks,
one.
Ron.
All right,
Bye-bye.
take
Bye.
care now.
Good stuff, boys. That was excellent.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Um,
I
come
don't.
back, come
Oh,
back
okay.
on tonight at like 7:30 and do the rest.
Yep, sounds perfect.
Is that good with you,
Sounds good to
Sam?
me.
Josh is out, right? He's
I
flying, or was that another week?
think that might be another week. I'm not sure. If not,
Uh,
we'll all be able to take on the Pats. I think we're all
yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
we all have a lot of hot takes from yesterday. So,
Awesome.
Sammy, you on that break now?
Just a week and then 2 more weeks, real tough, and then 4 weeks off. So
Might have to get on the sticks later.
I will, I'll be around.
All right,
I will
sounds
definitely be
good.
around.
Awesome. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'm debating if we insert this as the beginning or towards the end. I don't know. I'll think about it and how I want to lead off the second part.
Yeah, yeah. I think if we maybe I think maybe leading with the Pats probably is the the right thing to do. And then
Yeah, put this in, and then I can
you want to you want to I would say like we'll do like Pats,
no,
Bruins,
I'll put it in
Celtics.
at the end, and I'll just say something along the lines of when we start the episode that we have an interview